I think you clearly seen we had both both groups of demonstrators separated, and I think three groups of people came here today. There was three groups of protesters who came here today. There was obviously the group for the one for free speech. We had those who opposed the free speech, and unfortunately we did have people who came here to cause problems. But overall, I thought the men and women of our department and all the other agencies who helped us performed really well. It was a long day, it was a hot day, and the separation worked well. When we went to move them out, there was a little bit of a confrontation. I think you've seen public order platoons come out. That was the plan. As you know, I was hoping we wouldn't have to bring them out, but I thought they did a good job moving that crowd. That's what they're trained for. Sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but that's what they're trained for. And I watched how it was done, and I thought they did a great job. I was witnessing bottles being thrown at them. I was seeing cones. I was a lot of insults, but they held the line well. And overall, again, everyone did a good job. 99.9% of the people here were for the right reason, and that's to fight bigotry and hate for the most part here today. We knew we were going to have some people who were going to cause problems, and we had to make, the latest is 27 arrests so far today. Most of them disorderly, a couple assault and batteries on police officers and other charges, but overall, I thought we got the First Amendment people in, we got them out, and and no one got hurt, no one got killed, and we don't really have a whole lot of in fact, we have no significant at all property damage to the city. So great day for the city, and I'm really impressed. We probably had 40,000 people out here, standing tall against hatred and bigotry in our city, and that's a good feeling.
Commissioner, it seemed like the free speech rally was pretty small around that bandstand. Was it smaller than you expected, and did you have any problems with them, and when did you decide to put them in transport vans together?
Well, again, I didn't anticipate a whole lot. We had meetings with the individual who was leading it, and based on our discussions, I knew what we got. I expected, to tell you the truth, and that's why we had the strategy, and we had the exit strategy out the back, and that worked well. Unfortunately, as you've seen, we had some kids block the street, and it got a little confrontational, but they were given every opportunity to move, and as you've seen, we had to do a little pushing and shoving there. But even then, I was there, they were getting hit with bottles, they were getting pushed, and I thought they did a good job moving that crowd. So the plan went off the way we hoped to, and thank God nobody got hurt seriously. In fact, very little injury and very little property damage today.
Can you speak about the perimeter between the counter-protesters and the folks participating in the rally? How far of a space was that, and why was it set up that way?
Well, I think it was set up that way for a few reasons. Number one, we didn't want what happened in Virginia to happen here. We didn't want them at each other's throat. Also, there was a lot of talk in the week leading up about bottles being thrown with urine at our offices. And I wanted to make sure that that you had to have a good arm to basically throw and get at them. So, we basically wanted them separated. And I'm sorry to report, we did have some bottles thrown at our offices that did have urine in it. A couple of our officers were hit with that. They were hit with a lot of stuff today, and I'm very proud of the job they did, and it goes to the professionalism of this department.
And how wide was the space between the counter-protesters and the folks in the rally?
Gina, I didn't measure it, but I'd estimate probably 35 yards, 40 yards.
How many police officers were used today?
Again, we don't talk about numbers here. Enough to do a great job the way they did.
Commissioner, the president tweeted maybe an hour or two ago that there were, quote, many anti-police people here. Would you agree with that?
I'm not going to get into politics here. We had a plan to get everyone in here safely today and get out, so I'm not getting into anything. I'm real proud of the people, the way they came and stood up for hatred and bigotry, and I'm more proud of the way my officers handled that crowd.
Commissioner, the organizer of the free speech rally says that they plan to do a longer program, but the police shut that program down. Is that accurate?
No, not to my knowledge. You know what? They came in here. We made it clear. They had their speakers. I think they knew 20,000 people were approaching, and so that was mutual agreed that they would get into the wagons, and we used the wagons to just get them out. So
They said some of the speakers that they had planned to join the free speech rally were not allowed through the perimeter to listen to the speech and to participate. Is that
you know what? We had a job to do. We did a great job. I'm not going to listen to people who come in here and want to talk about hate. And you know what? If they didn't get in, it's a good thing, because their message isn't what we want to hear.
What about the people?
Last question.
Can you talk about the soft approach that you took today?
Yeah, I thought, again, if you looked at us, we pedal biked almost 20,000 people down here, real soft. We got in here inside the perimeter. We had our bicycle officers. We had officers with soft hats. It wasn't until we weren't able to get the wagons out here on Boylston Street that we had to bring the public order platoons out to get them out safely. And I thought that went real well. There was a lot of pushing and shoving there, but that's the way they were trained, and I thought they did the best they could under the circumstances. And I'm proud of the way they did it. We train up for events like this, and we've handled Occupy, we've handled Patriots parades, and I was confident in the job they would do, and I think you've seen it done today.
Was there anything you thought you would have improved today?
What's that?
Is there anything you would have done differently security-wise?
I mean, we'll have a team back after this. We always debrief after this, but you know what? We had a plan. We kept the distance. No one got hurt. We have no vandalism, no nothing. So I couldn't ask for more. Obviously I wish the troublemakers stayed away, but we anticipated them. They weren't here for either side. They were here just to cause problems.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, everybody.
Folks, any
I
other
don't know right
questions?
now.
Media relations.
We'll get you after, okay?
What's that?
Are there white supremacists that actually attended the rally?
Well, we don't know if they're white supremacists. I can tell you we did stop 3 individuals who every one of them had ballistic vests on. And when we got the vests back to the station, one of them had a gun on him. So there was people who came here, I think, to cause some harm, but we were lucky to get those 3 out of here and confiscate the vests. So, between the bottles and everything else, again, I'm just fortunate that none of my officers got hurt, none of the public got hurt, and, overall, it was a good day for the city in saying that we won't tolerate hatred and bigotry in our city. And people really came out to say, Boston is united. That's not what we're about here.